Hey everybody, this is Lynna, and you're watching another episode of Riveting Television, the internet's greatest unknown hit, Lynna's Life. Anyway, I just got done with, okay, I bladed, and I'm not kidding, and I'm not saying this to toot my horn, I'm just telling you what I did. And it's after I've been able to, work out, on a consistent basis now for 3 years or so almost. I bladed almost 60 miles today. Yeah, 60, 10 miles per hour, I guess, 10 miles each hour. So I was gone for like 6 hours or something like that. And it was, I don't know, it was something that I wanted to do. It's just every day that person wakes up in the morning and thinks, well, I think I want to go rollerblading, let's see, today, 50 miles? I don't know, guys. I'm just crazy, and I don't want to recommend this to anybody because it's a lot to do, and it's not normal. So, I know that, but I do it, and some people are asking me, hey, Lynna, why don't you put out an exercise video, about what you eat and how you get yourself motivated to work out and what your regimen is. And I will, but I won't do it here because I'm just sitting in the tub thinking. It's kind of my office, since I don't have one. Yeah, but yeah. So anyway, the reason for my video blog today is because I wanted to talk about a topic that's getting a lot of attention today specifically. My friend, I say friend, because she's a person that I've gotten to know through commentary and stuff. I don't really have a relationship with this person, so I honestly don't know them. I just know who they are in pictures and what they've posted and the little commentary that we've had back and forth. But a Facebook friend, I followed her transition. Her name is Christina Jane Murray, and I followed her transition, and I've been motivated and encouraged by her and stuff like that. Well, as many of you know, she met up with her ex-girlfriend or something like that, and she's really, still has feelings. They still have feelings for each other, and I can't explain that stuff. That's none of my business. And if two people like each other and stuff like that, hey, that's cool, but she's on this bandwagon of wanting to reach detransition and wants to go back to being John. And I'm fine, if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. But what's transpired on her page is saying stuff about the transition and how it's hurt everybody, and how it's hurt, John's wife, and all this stuff, and gosh, I know how hard it is. I mean, believe me, I don't know Jane, John, or whatever. Um, I have 5 kids, and you know, it's very difficult. It's not anything entered into lightly, easily, um, by whim. I mean, my transition was entered into after 2 certified um, therapists said the same thing about me being a textbook gender dysphoric person, and they recommended that I should transition as soon as I felt comfortable. And I also went to a Christian counselor even, and with my former wife at the time, and we walked those waters, that path, and tried to figure things out. She wanted me to go to counseling because she had already told, like, people from church and stuff in the women's ministry that, you know, that she was dealing with a transgender husband. So they recommended this counselor and stuff. So we went to him, and you know what he told me? You know what he told me? I mean, I've said this before, but he said, Paul, I can't believe that you had no safe place to go, that you could tell no one about what you were dealing with and the feelings that you had. And my heart goes out to you. I never heard those words from anyone. There was compassion instead of rebuke. There was love instead of a callous arm that would distance itself from me and push me away. They told me, he told me, whatever you decide to do, I know they're kind of on the fence with all this, but this was back in August of last year. He said, whatever you do decide to do, make sure that you can just be the best dad that you can be, and that you can be the best husband that you can be to your wife. And I took that counsel, and I walked away. I never went back to that counselor specifically. And I knew that my mind was made up. I knew that it was just going to be a matter of time before the decisions were finalized and the date for the doctor appointment to get hormones was written down. And that day came. It came 3 months later. It came 3 months after the last appointment. And I continued to dress, continued to travel, continued to be distant from my family, because it was just killing me. Christina says, John says that we should suck it up and do things for the other people in our lives and just deal with our gender dysphoria for them, for their sake. That implies that there's a choice in the matter. That implies that there's a decision that we have to make about who we are. But at its very basest core, we seriously don't have a choice in the matter. I mean, a person is either born, I don't get all the gender nonconforming stuff, so I'm out in left field about all that kind of stuff. And someone, would have to explain it to me. But what I understand about male and female is that you're either one or the other. And I honestly feel and know that I wasn't the gender that I was assigned at birth by my genitals and doctors who made the decision. I always have struggled with my gender identity. And it's something that has been a part of my life since I was 5, at least. I know that people struggle with their gender identity at different ages and stuff. But I not only struggled with gender identity issues, I also dealt with some physical abnormalities that aren't common for a male to experience, namely hips. I have hips. I have always had hips. I used to look down at them and touch the boniness of them and how they flared out a bit. And I used to wonder, why do I have this? These are questions that I had, that I struggled with. And that's what a lot of us as trans deal with. We deal with intersex issues that no one really wants to talk about. Certain things about us that are no doubt female, no doubt. There's just no doubt. But those like Jane or John, who question these things, were probably never trans to begin with. And were probably never gender dysphoric. Maybe you got misdiagnosed. I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't know why anyone would want to detransition after experiencing wholeness. And I say wholeness because ever since I have begun to live my life as me and as a female, I can do things that I never can think of. I am able to be more efficient at my work when I do have it. I'm able to relate with people on a way more personal level. I'm a lot more confident in who I am. I just don't fret the small stuff anymore. I used to be afraid of people. Literally afraid of people. People were just like not enemy number one, public enemy number one, but I was just so scared that people would know my truth, that I didn't want to be in large groups, and I didn't want to share my life, you know. I mean, I was okay one-on-one when I got to know you and warmed up to you, but in a large group setting, no way. I wouldn't bother to speak. It was not something that I did. But it's tough when we all get swept into the same stroke of a painting with a brush that is so wide that it encompasses all of us as trans people, you know. And that's what Jane did. She said, you know, hey, I stopped drinking the Kool-Aid. I finally understood. I'm getting off this effing bandwagon, you know. My eyes are now open. And I'm like, you know what? My eyes are open too, but not like yours are. Yours are open to wanting to transition and go back and potentially find a beautiful long lost love. John, she's gorgeous. She's beautiful. She's an incredibly sexy lady. You know, that one pic that you put up with her, she's gorgeous. But that's not the reason that I transitioned. It wasn't, you know, about finding love and all that. It was finding myself. And in finding myself, I could find true love, which I have. I mean, I have found true love. Tony takes care of me. He loves me. He is just an amazing man. And the thought of walking back to a life that I never felt comfortable living in, you know, a life that basically had me, you know, living a masqueraded life. Jane says the real person is John. And that's fine. John, if that's your reality, that's who you are, then go live the life of John, you know? I mean, you're probably a good-looking guy as well as, you know, a good-looking girl. So, I mean, all you gotta do is, like, probably get some surgery to get rid of those boobs. And, you know, I mean, you won't have much facial hair because you shaved it all and burned it all and electrolysed it all off. But, you know, go ahead. But please, don't put us in the same bus as you. We're not riding the same train. We're not drinking the same Kool-Aid as you. We are all on our own personal journeys. And we are as individual as a snowflake is in the wintertime. None of them are the same. So please don't do us this disservice of neglecting to realize our uniqueness in our situation and the persons that we are. Because there are many other trans women and men who have successfully transitioned. And you're right, it's not about the looks. I mean, I get it. You're a knockout. You can pass with the best of them and stuff. But were you ever comfortable being Jane? Were you ever comfortable being a woman? Those are the questions that only you can answer for yourself. I can't answer those questions. All I know is that I am absolutely comfortable being Lynna. And ever since my transition has started, it has just become even clearer and clearer and clearer. It's like something that was out of focus has now been focused and is now crystal clear to me. A question that was asked was, how do your kids like their new mom? It was a little sarcastic, I do give you that much. But to answer your question, it's a painful reality knowing that I'm not home to read stories to my little 5-year-old or giving my 16-year-old some good fatherly advice, or playing basketball with my 9-year-old son who wants to learn how to do a crossover move, or telling my 12-year-old not to eat with his mouth open, or giving my daughter $20 when she asks for it because she's going to go out with some friends to the mall. It's no fun. It's no fun at all. But the alternatives are worse. Back in 2013 of last year, around this time, I was a walking dead man. My ex-wife will tell you, Paul left this family months ago. And I did. I was emotionally bankrupt. And if I'm weak for being that way, I'm sorry. But you know what? As a Christian, believing in the power of God to change a life and to make people better, I tried everything that I could to not be this way. I, as a Christian, prayed and asked God to take it away, because I was convinced that this was a spiritual, demonic thing. People were telling me that, stuff like, battles and stuff that we have with our person are a lot of times a spiritual battle in nature. And although I would never admit it to anybody, this was a real battle. And I was struggling and dying, So, to answer your question, we go through whatever hell it is that we have to do in order to suppress it. I mean, I have a friend, Mara, who has, at the age of 61, decided to transition and had SRS after her 3 boys were already graduated out of high school. I, for one, couldn't do that. I, for one, realized that if I didn't transition last year, I was going to die physically. That's what the numbers say about us. And yes, it is a medical condition. It is. Because you would have to be absolutely out of your blanking mind to attempt this. If it wasn't that you were dysphoric about your gender, I mean, why would you want to hurt untold hundreds of people? People that knew you as you from before. Guys who used to cut up with you at the water cooler or barbecuing ribs in the summertime or throwing the football around in the fall time, going to games and shooting the breeze and all that stuff. By the way, none of that I really did with very great success. I never liked it, I didn't like all of it. And I was kind of odd man out. But I could hide behind my Christian background. I could say, oh, no, I don't do that because I'm a Christian guy and I don't do that kind of stuff. Well, the only reason I wasn't doing that stuff was because I didn't want anybody to know the reality of myself. I didn't want people to know the truth. So it was something that it's better hidden and not uncovered than to be honest about things and having to hear about it from other people. But we're not all the same. We're all different. Some people choose to come out later. Some people choose to come out earlier. But what we do have in common is that we all absolutely are not content with the gender that we were assigned to at birth. And our brain tells us something that's so far different than what we see. And being able to make that core change in myself will allow me in the future to be a better parent and a better human being as I have become, not for my family, but for others that know me. But eventually, what do my kids think about me being their new mom? Well, first of all, Jane or John, they don't think of me being their mom, because their mom is a special woman who is so deserving of that title. I would never strip her or share that title with her, because she is so much more worthy of that title. I am and forever will be my kid's dad. I don't know if they'll call me D. I don't know if they'll call me Daddy. But they'll call me whatever they want, and I'll just have to be okay with it. It's very, very painful, that reality of not being a dad to my kids. More importantly, not being allowed to be a dad to my kids. I have child visitation hearing in November that I have to go down to Nashville for, and that's something that I'm gonna have to deal with. But please, don't paint us all with the same brush as you. If you're dealing with something, then fine, deal with it. But don't illegitimize or delegitimize our struggle, and don't paint us as being weak-minded. Because some would say that it takes a lot of guts to do this. So we're anything but weak-minded. Anything but that. Well, it's 30 minutes. This is probably my longest post ever. But if you guys get through it, I guess I'll give you a bonus or something. I don't know. I'll send you um, like a gift or something for getting through it. So let me know if you guys got through the whole thing, and if you did, um, um, yeah, we'll do something special for you. I don't know, dedicate a song to you, or how about if I mention you in my next blog that won't be 30 minutes, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm babbling now. You guys, I just want to let you know that I really care about each and every one of you in your struggle, in your victories, in your questions, and in your decisions. And Jane specifically, I care about you too. And I want you to know that no matter where you are on the journey, I accept you for being the person that you are. And I appreciate the struggle that you've gone through, and for letting us have a little glimpse about you and your life. You've been an encouragement to me personally, and although you're struggling now or decided now on what you want to do in your life, just know that you're loved, and you're always going to have lots of friends here in the trans community, and you inspired many, not just to be beautiful, but to be real. So, we'll see you guys. Good night.